there's an emergency. So you dial 911. In most cases, it's a matter of life or death. Today's warmer weather may have been nice, but it actually exacerbated an already difficult situation for the department. As snow and ice melted, it created this: muddy, slippery conditions. Those twinkling lights behind me, those are crews working to restore power to the residents on this street. Chris, an intense night at Southwest Allen. Actually, when the meeting first began and they decided they were going to discuss masks, just like the movie's ominous thunder struck. Here, they're learning about cardiac arrest. If that happens, they learn to sing "Row, row, row your boat." It's causing a lot of traffic concerns. Cars are zooming behind me. There's really no difference in the meaning between recommended and optional. But still, parents were fired up and they spoke up at the mic. The remnants of a child's trampoline. The owners live across the street and were shocked when they woke up this morning. And funny enough, they each said something different. Some people want to save the money. Some people just want to splurge it. But it can also look like this: heaping piles of trash that haven't been picked up for weeks. Dozens of folks are out on the ice, skating and enjoying time with family. Some went sledding and some even had a snowball fight. Riding a VO scooter can be plenty of fun. You just gotta make sure you're doing it safely, just to fill up your tank. So an additional $170 would save you about 5 or 6 trips. A streak like this costs $10, and all of the proceeds go to pancreatic cancer awareness. It takes about 2,000 steps to walk 1 mile. Now, imagine how many it'd take to walk 300 miles. Well, 11-year-old Alexander Izquierdo doesn't have to imagine.
My dad has been removed from the United States, and he doesn't have a driver's license.
Izquierdo and dozens of others with Movimiento Cosecha are marching, chanting, in the rain or shine, to bring attention to the need for driver's licenses for undocumented residents. 300 miles, 7 days, from Gary, Indiana to Indianapolis. Organizer Dara Marquez says the movement is to give them visibility.
One of the major factors right now that are leading to folks being detained and eventually in process of deportations is the fact that they were pulled over and they couldn't present a driver's licenses.
A risk mother of 2 Dominga Cortez takes every day when she drives her 14-year-old daughter with special needs to medical appointments more than 2 hours away. I want to drive without fear, with dignity and respect. Cortez says this issue has become even more salient during the pandemic. We do the work they don't want to do. We are the people who harvest the land. That's why the movement is called Cosecha. During the pandemic, everyone hid away. They were safe and guarded. No one was there protecting us. Currently, 16 states and the District of Columbia allow undocumented immigrants to obtain licenses. Movimiento Cosecha hopes to see these rights restored on a legislative level.
Like, tattooing is like a very, like I said before, like intimate.
Like, I'm a talker, so I like to talk to my
It's a time for people to just kind of talk about what's on their mind. Pack my eyebrows for the road. I mean, for some reason, in the past couple of years, I've just seen tattoos blow up. TikTok and all the social medias and everything like that, tattoos have gotten so popular.
23-year-old Allie Book didn't think at the start of the pandemic she'd be in a spot to open up her own shop.
So I'm going to go like right behind it. Yeah. We had a lot of cancellations because people, you know, were either had no income and they couldn't pay for their tattoos anymore, or they, you know, out of work, didn't want to leave the house.
When people started getting stimulus checks,
they're like, oh, why not spend it on tattoos? So
that's nice. Yeah, for sure.
The boom in business set up her and her former apprentice Delaney Norman to open Meraki Tattoo Studios.
Before we had even like bought anything or even signed the lease and stuff for the building, that we were going to announce the opening of everything by tattooing the word Meraki on each other.
Meraki is Greek for doing something with soul and passion.
You want them like white, like they're open, like nothing in them.
Leaving a piece of yourself in the work you do. Book and Norman say that can be hard in a toxic work environment.
I've had a lot of men message me and try and return sexual favors for tattoos. It all goes with it originally being more of a male-dominant industry.
Book says it's a harsh reality that some women have to grit their teeth through sexual harassment and misogyny just to make it.
I know a lot of female tattoo artists have gotten groped or touched inappropriately while either getting tattooed by their mentor or somebody or by their client.
Book and Norman say, not at Meraki.
kind of get a feel for this area over here.
The shop will employ 7 women and non-binary folks and prides itself on being inclusive for queer clientele. And Norman says this is only the beginning.
My goal was to always want to own multiple of anything that I had decided to do. So obviously, tattoo shop, owning multiple tattoo shops.
I think a lot of the Ubers just kind of get taken up around that time, so that's why it seems to be a little bit more difficult to find an Uber.
Dalton Moore is referring to the hours of midnight to 3 a.m.
Everybody seems to be doing it all at the same time.
The 21-year-old started Uber driving as a way to make some extra cash.
Are you Andrew? Did you get an Uber? I will try to Uber around that time because I know people are getting out of the bars at that time. And when people do try to find Ubers and they can't, you just kind of wait around.
And that waiting, in worst cases,
Enjoy the rest of your night.
can be an hour or more.
On Friday night, I picked up a couple from Michigan who said they waited for 2 hours for an Uber. So then they requested Lyft, and I happened to be on the Lyft app at the time.
Jeff Davis started driving both Uber and Lyft
I'm going to make a right here.
after he retired in 2016.
Fort Wayne's a very small market, but they're not investing any money in the drivers. So they have constant turnover of drivers.
Davis says the reason folks are finding it difficult to find a ride is simply because there aren't enough drivers. Kayla Whaling with Uber Media Relations says that's true. In a statement, she said in 2021, there are more riders requesting trips than there are drivers available to give them. Davis says that's dangerous.
People need drivers at night, after they've been out partying or drinking or whatever. That's when they need drivers most.
In Fort Wayne, I'm Nico Pennisi, Fox 55 News.